Hi, I'm Chris King. I'm the game designer at Paradox Interactive, and I'm here to do a video dev diary on Hearts of Iron 3 for the Motherland. Subject of today's dev diary is Coups and Partisans. With Hearts of Iron 3, we have this politics system that kind of sits hanging in the air, very independent from the rest of the game. So our goal is to bring it into the game, integrate it into the whole game structure to make it more important to you. So what we started with doing is saying that coups are triggered off the internal political makeup of your party, of your country, sorry. We have essentially party organisation, and that's going to influence the overall ministerial posts that each ideology gets. If you end up with dangerous extremists in your government, and these are classified as anyone who doesn't belong there, so to a fascist government, anyone believing in these outlandish notions of democracy are of course dangerous extremists, then your government is fractured and you're running the risk of a coup d'etat. A coup d'etat is triggered by an external country with large numbers of spies operating in your nation. So the goal is first you build up the strength of your ideology, fracture the government, and then press that button, and hopefully by tomorrow you'll have a government friendlier to you. Well, each government in Hearts of Iron 3 has allowed ideologies. At the moment, these influence which ministers you can appoint. But we're going to free up this system so that now minister appointments will depend on the organisation of the parties. Essentially, to keep your government in power, you're going to barter to support with the other parties. As parties outside these allowed ideologies grow in strength, they will then be allowed, then you will eventually have to bring them into the government, and then with their views that are so contrary to yours, be it, fascism, communism or democracy, they will then become a threat and undermine the unity of your government, leaving you vulnerable to diplomatic actions by external countries. A coup is launched by a very handy button and diplomatic interface, Engage Coup. However, the prerequisites are that the government is fractured and that you have spies in play. However, your chances of success will be influenced by the strength of your ideology and the number of spies. So that as you build up the power of, say, a democratic movement in a communist country, then your ability to topple this government becomes stronger and your chances of success greater. The partisan system in Hearts of Iron 3 is, well, let's be honest, non-existent. What you really have are rebels, which is basically an EU3 style concept. So it's one of those parts which isn't quite as satisfying as it could be. So we sat down and thought about how can we make this system better. And I thought back to one of my favourite board games, SS America, which had this beautiful partisan system. The partisans were units that you recruited through special operation units that were suppressed using police units. And they had two functions. They were either underground units organising, or they were partisan units who were active. And so we're going to bring something similar into Hearts of Iron 3, where what you do is you first construct an underground unit, which will then magically get parachuted into whichever country you're trying to organise it in. And then this will be used as your base point to recruit partisans. And enemy military, police and security units will try and shut down this underground and throw it out. So what we're trying to do is create a more active system where partisans are not just a roll of the dice. Because just because people are unhappy doesn't make them a threat. What they really need are guns before they get dangerous. I mean, there's two purposes to this rules. First is the government that's in exile. They have a pretty boring time of it at the moment. So we're giving them their own private war they can wage back in the home front, where they can build units and play with them to make their lives more interesting. And also, they can also try and liberate their own country through their partisan units. The other part is, of course, the behind the lines in the Soviet Union, where there was huge partisan movements engaging with the Germans, and this was a serious drain on German resources. And also the Soviet Union spent a lot of arms supporting these partisan units to disrupt the Germans. So we're trying to capture that aspect of the Eastern Front War as well.